It's no secret most women struggle to feel happy with their bodies. Well, now a new Glamour magazine survey confirms it, and the numbers are actually a little troubling. 97% of women say they have at least one negative thought about their body image every single day. Why? Here were the reasons behind that number. Early show psychologist and contributor Dr. Jennifer Hartstein and Wendy Noggle, who's executive editor of Glamour magazine. Good to have both of you with us. And this is such a fascinating glimpse into women's psyches, because I think a lot of times too, women say to themselves, I'm thinking this, but no one else is. And it's showing us that an incredible number of women are on average 13 negative thoughts a day. It seems like it's almost become a norm, Wendy.
It really has become a norm, and some women reported 25, 50, even 100 of these thoughts. It's something that we talk about with each other all the time. We've started to bond over this kind of thinking, comparing ourselves, and also that kind of thinking actually starts to retrain your brain and rewire your brain. So that
you rewire it to almost, that is, you say that's what we talk about.
Right.
Jen, it's almost like these are the conversations we have with one another. Oh, I'm too fat to wear this.
Right.
I look awful in that.
The comparisons go on and on and on, and it does retrain our brains, as Wendy said, to think that way. So it becomes our default way of thinking. We don't go to the positive. We automatically discount anything that's said to us or that we even think that's positive.
It's interesting because there's even a debate in the studio this morning amongst some of the women as we were talking about it. Some surprised, others not at all by what some of the folks were saying in this study. Here's what some of the women Glamour surveyed said as they recorded. Don't eat that. You could probably use an eating disorder. You're obese. All the pretty girls are a size 2. I'm ugly. Too skinny. Look sick. Were you surprised, Wendy, to see such harsh words?
It was the harshness of these words that was really shocking to me, and also for our survey takers, that when they saw them in black and white, they realized how bad they really were. And if you think about it, if a man or someone else in your life were saying this to you, this would be relationship abuse. And yet we've accepted that it's okay to say this to ourselves.
And we almost feel like we're supposed to say it.
We are trained at a very early age to self-invalidate ourselves constantly. So we really learn at a very young age that this is okay to make the comparison, to say, oh, you have it better, you look better. And it becomes our automatic mechanism over and over and over again. But I wasn't surprised at how harsh those things were, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, but I'm with you. I actually wasn't shocked either. I thought, well, yeah, this is kind of what, this is really what women say to each other all the time. But it's hard when you see it in black and white.
Yes, and it's what we internalize from the other people that it then becomes what we say to ourselves.
And it's interesting, too, that these are thoughts, and Jen, maybe you could touch on this one, that are coming from within, that they are coming from ourselves, and they're not necessarily from other people heaping them on.
Right. And the problem really is that externally we get all of these messages of what we're supposed to look like. We've talked about this before, certainly. And then we internalize that, and it becomes that default mechanism that we go to, I don't look like everybody else, I can't look like everybody else, I'm bad, and we can't even accept the compliments on how we look without totally negating it. Oh, it's the dress, oh, I'm working really hard, oh, I'm doing all these things. We can't even accept the good things coming external and internalize that.
For some reason, it is so difficult to smile and say thank you when someone pays you a compliment. How much of this was tied to women being unsatisfied in other areas of their life?
We found that was a huge factor here, that women who were unhappy in their relationships or in the workplace, that their negative thoughts about their body went up. And that's a really important distinction, because what that means is we're deflecting other concerns in our lives onto our bodies. And you can do as many sit-ups as you want, but that's not going to change how you're appreciated at work. So we really need to dive into those deeper issues, and that's what will really solve the problem.
And this is all so tied together. Are there certain things that you found in your practice, Jen, that can trigger these thoughts?
Absolutely. Loneliness is a major factor that can trigger those thoughts. General dissatisfaction in your life, general unhappiness, those things absolutely get internalized and become, it's all about me, but not in a good way.
Okay, so the best thing we can do with this information, obviously, is to take it and to use it to our advantage.
Right.
So how do you turn this around? What's your advice to women? Because it's much easier said than done. You can say, oh, well, just stop thinking negatively.
Yeah,
really?
Wouldn't that be great if we could do that? I think that'd be fabulous. And interestingly, Wendy and I had very similar points, and I think maybe the most important is retrain your brain. Really work to switch the neural pathways that are firing all the negative stuff into affirming positive things. You also really want to think about how can you build on your strengths? How can you really look at positive things in your life, build on those, and what can you do to do that?
And I think you really want to ask yourself, in the moment when you're having these thoughts, what's going on here? Is this really about my body, or is it because I had a bad day at work? Is it because something else is going on? and really evaluate those issues rather than making it all about your body, because often it's not.
And is this something you should pull your girlfriends into too? Say, you know, the next time you hear one of them having one of these negative thoughts, say, you know what, is there something else
going on?
Sure.
Exactly. And that can really change the dialogue that we're having with each other. And that's such a powerful thing, because once you look at survey results like this, you realize how much thought space this is taking up. And if you can kind of erase all of that, think about how much you can get on with your life in other areas.
And then you're getting to the meatier stuff. You're getting to the important conversations about what's happening in my life, not what's happening on the surface, and how important that is for all of our relationships and for ourselves.
Such great points, and really an eye-opening study. Good to have both of you with us. Thanks for being willing to share it. Wendy Noggle and Dr. Jennifer Hartstein.